Andrew McGahan standing alongside John Redmond. And John, we spoke about this earlier, but you're going to have to change your nickname now because you're no longer baby-faced.
No, I think it's Johnny Jitsu. There'll be a skit coming online during the week as well, a bit of comedic.
What prompted this whole Johnny Jitsu thing?
It was just a little thing between me friends and all. We were just, they'd be messing sometimes, you'd be out in the session with your mates, we're all human beings, and I'd walk in with the game, and the Karate Kid thing and the stick, the staff, as we like to call it, people.
But in all honesty, Irish fighters, it seems like they don't promote themselves enough on Facebook. You share everything that's posted about you. You're very vocal about training and all that.
Oh yeah, man, big time.
Do you think it's important fighters
start? Man, first and foremost, Bruce Lee is my idol. And Bruce Lee was a guy who wanted to share martial arts with the world. And I like to share every aspect of martial arts with people online. And it's not to be like boastful or not to be anything like that. It's just to show people that there's like what we're like as human beings, what we do, and that's pretty much why. And like the skits and the comedic thing, that's just a bit of fun, man. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy it. It's fun. And like if I was to show you some of the outtakes, man, I tell you it's hard not to laugh. Like sometimes, like.
You spoke at length before about your coach Paul Kaiser and the influence he's had on you as a fighter.
Big time.
Just in a little bit more detail, or just recap it now, the effect he's had on your career.
Big time. Paul is, first and foremost, one of the most stand-up people you'll ever meet in your life. He's just, genuinely, he's the most honest human being you'll ever meet. He'll tell you how it is, even if you don't want to hear how it is, he'll tell you how it is. I have a ADHD disorder. I'm sure hundreds of people do in the country, and even through my years of doing MMA and everything, I can be difficult. But Paul has been able to deal with me and deal with like training me and getting me to this point now to be able to relax in a cage, and instead of like, I know you've seen a bit of the chipper fighting at the end of the fight there, but like Paul has got me to a level now where I'm able to go in as a mixed martial artist with a proper game plan and be able to implement that. And yeah, Paul's a big influence on my life. Not only my coach, but he's my best mate as well. He's a
you
top
mentioned
lad.
Sometimes hearing the things that you don't want to hear. Was it Paul who prompted your move back to welterweight?
Yeah, Paul prompted me move back down to welterweight, and he said simply because, listen, John, it's a harder cut. I know you've got bigger as you've got older, and it's probably a bit of a harder cut for you, but it's your natural weight. What he explained to me, he says, you have to understand, when you're fighting these guys at middleweight, these guys are walking around at that. You're eating food and doing weights to be a middleweight, where these guys are walking around at that and cutting to make that, where I'm only walking around at max maybe 93, like max, and like what I hear from most people, like that's the size that UFC welterweights are, man. Yeah. So like, I know Chris Fields, and I know I fought Chris, but I also taught Chris, I know Chris, and like that guy walks around at 100 kilos plus, man. He's a big fucking man, like, sorry for the language, man.
No, sorry. It's all right. When you were going on a bit of a skid in the last 18 months, fight-wise, did you ever consider turning fully to coaching? Because I know Rush Fight Academy has some great amateur fighters.
I'd like to just cut you off there. We're the best amateur team in the country, bar none. We're the best. I think our win rate ratio, fight to fight on every show, I think it shows that. And I think like with the poll this year in Fight Hounds, I think like I think we honestly deserve that, and like we have the best amateur team in the country.
So were you geared more towards coaching these young guys and bringing them up?
Well, like there's a part of me that loves being a coach and loves helping people. I'm very I'd like to consider myself, I like to help people, and like not only are these guys like just part of like RFA, like they're my friends. Like some of these guys come from Malahide, where I'm from, and some guys are from Rush, and like we're all friends and we're a family, like
So who do you think is the amateur in Rush that'll make the breakthrough into pro in the next year?
Neil Ward, I think, will be the number one bantamweight pro to come true, definitely. And because what I'll say is why Neil is because Neil is at the right age now to turn pro, mentally, as well as physically and everything else. I think Neil's going to make the next step to turn pro. And Neil, I think if you've watched Neil's fights, Neil's a serious customer in every department.
I saw Neil fight in 2010 in Dundalk. It was one of the first events that I went to. Rush actually
He's a monster.
They went 3-0 that night. Luke Cafferty also made an appearance, but I think he's gearing away from
Luke is more geared towards boxing. People have to understand, this is what I'll say about Luke Cafferty. Adam is going to go pro, but I think Adam will go pro a little bit after Neil. I think Neil's that little bit older where he's ready and more mature to go pro and do a pro career. Where Adam, maybe a little few more fights and then he'll go pro. And what I will say about Luke, a fantastic boxer. This guy is going to go to the Olympics. Mark my words and mark everyone else's words. Mark my words and mark everyone else's words that have ever seen Luke Cafferty fight boxing or K1. The guy's hands sick. End off.
Thank you very much, John, and thanks for redoing this interview.
No problem, Andrew. All right,
Thank you, John.
Thanks, man.